let's look at the lineup today for the Athletics. It starts with Marcus Semien, then Joey Wendell. Stephen Vogt will DH. Ryan Healy in the cleanup spot. And Alonzo Maxwell, Eibner, Olson, and Smolinski.
And the King is on the mound, thus the King's court just rose to the occasion as they announced the King and making the start. And I think the biggest thing is he's making his 25th start today is that he is making the start. The Mariners were eliminated last night in a possible postseason play, but King figures who wanted to pitch the final game for it to mean something. Maybe for him it means a lot that he is taking the mound today in the series finale.
Here's the defense behind Felix Hernandez. Gamble, Heredia, and Gutierrez in the outfield. Seager, O'Malley, Freeman, and Lee on the infield. And Chris Iannetta gets his first start in this series. So some of the regulars sitting out, most of the regulars sitting out for the Mariners. As the first pitch of the ball game is rolled foul.
That's something you might see a lot of today. Swing early and let it go.
I'm not going to complain. I don't think you're going to complain.
No, I don't think anybody is.
Welcome to the final game of the season. So 0-1 to Marcus Semien, wrapping up his second full season in the big leagues, and it's been a good one. 27 homers, 74 RBI. Your umpires today, the veteran and crew chief is Jim Joyce, and he's calling balls and strikes this afternoon.
And there's a familiar chant. Well, what are they saying? Felix or K or something? They want a strikeout, not Iwakuma, Felix.
Could be K.
Yeah.
Marcus Semien getting a start in the leadoff spot today. 6 for 13 in this series. A big hit last night. A lot of big hits last night. But what a ball game. It was one of the best games of the year, I think, for the A's. Could easily have been the best. The atmosphere was terrific. The young players came through.
Maxwell got the double. Pender pinch ran. After Olson didn't get him over, Wendell got him in. So that was a good night for the kids for sure. This is a fastball off Diaz, and Joey Wendell into the gap in right center to the wall. Pender scoring easy, and that was the game winner. And 4-hit night for Joey Wendell, 4-hit night for Marcus Semien.
And that one on the outside corner, strike 3 call.
I think they were yelling K.
Strikeout.
I think it's K. Kind of when it gets 2 strikes, they start yelling K. He's good, and little two-seam going back door, coming back to the middle of the plate. So it was a great changeup, which probably is thrown as hard as any fastball sometimes. As a matter of fact, with the Iwakuma, we showed the average velocity. King Felix changeup is that hard, but his velocity on his fastball has been reducing over the years, but he's the type of pitcher who's going to make a lot of adjustments to become even better.
Today looking for his 12th win. Hernandez spent about a month and a half on the disabled list, had a calf strain. He missed all of June and half of July, so that cost him some starts and some wins. Most wins all time versus the Athletics. Hernandez and Tanana beat the A's 23 times. Hernandez grabs that one, underhands to first, 2 outs.
Yeah, they always talk about the final day of the regular season. Good day for no-hitters. King Felix has a perfect game. So you never know. Maybe he wanted to take the final game. Although the A's play in the lineup they have been playing pretty much the last couple of months of the season. Stephen Vogt. How about the article about him being a leadoff hitter? It's pretty interesting.
How about that?
Yeah. Said he would welcome him with open arms, and said I might not have the speed for the prototypical leadoff hitter, but to take pitches, get on base, add some pop.
Hits this one to left field, hits it pretty well. Gamble going back, still going back, and that baby is gone. Stephen Vogt goes the other way for home run number 14, and the A's have a 1-0 lead.
Speaking of pop, how about Oppo? Picks up his own bat. And why not? gets a curveball and goes opposite field. Pitch away from him, and the ball just kept carrying. And you're right, Gamble kept going back, but he ran out of room. Ball just sneaking over the fence. And Stephen Vogt, that'd be a nice way to go home to Tumwater, Washington. Thinking about that off King Felix. that's quite a knock. Okay. Most likely want to tip his cap to him.
So second home run to left field this year for Vogt. Ryan Healy rolls it foul. So obviously we'll keep a close eye on all the ball games today that are meaningful games, and there is a handful of them. They're all in the first inning. All games starting at the same time today. Games of importance: the Orioles at the Yankees, the Blue Jays at the Red Sox, Tigers at the Braves. 2-2 in the National League. Giants hosting the Dodgers, and the Cardinals hosting the Pirates.
Everything is happening right now.
Right now.
Right now as we speak.
2-2 to Ryan Healy. Got him swinging. So Stephen Vogt gets the A's on the board with a solo home run to left field. So half inning in the books. It's the A's 1 and the Mariners coming to bat. Things up. Disappointing season for Bob, but as we've talked a lot about, still some things to think about in a good way for 2017. Heredia, O'Malley, Cano, Gutierrez, Seager, Lee, Gamble, Ionetta, Freeman. That's your Seattle Mariners starting lineup.
Second major league start for Sean when I came against these Mariners. Then that was at the Coliseum on May the 4th, and had a game in which he probably could have won, should have won, did not win. His Mariners won 9-8, so he is making his 24th start. Did have one relief appearance, and which is an outstanding one. So he'd like to finish on a very positive note.
Heredia getting a start today. Guillermo Heredia taps slowly up the third base line, and that's going to be a base hit. Not sure you could have rolled it out there any better. And it was a big swing, and well, it went about 30 feet. That's good enough for a hit. Defensively for the Athletics, Smolinski, Eibner, Olsen in the outfield. Healy, Simeon, Wendell, Alonso in the infield. Bruce Maxwell is your catcher. So here is Sean O'Malley with Heredia aboard on the leadoff single. O'Malley, a switch hitter, playing shortstop today. to Healy, who has it. Fires to second for one, back to first, and that's a double play. 5-4-3 to get a fast runner in O'Malley.
How about that? 3 pitches, 2 outs, and a base hit. But tailor-made to Ryan Healy and over to Joey Wendell. A couple of rookies turning a double play. 5-4-3. A nice way to get 2 quick outs on a hard ground ball, and especially, like you said, with the speed. And Cap, I don't know if Robinson Cano needs 1 hit to get to 300.
My guess is that's a yes.
And if we know that Seager needs 1 RBI to get to 100, so if those 2 guys accomplish that sooner than later, they're gone.
No question. Cano sitting at 299. So
and
if he gets a hit, it's going to get to 300, and you're right, he may come out.
And it's not at this point evident it could not be rounded up to 300 because he might not be playing. That's what they said to Ted Williams before his final game. You know, you can round it up to 400. He said, "Now I'll play." And doubleheader, got about 8 hits.
And Cano could probably, I mean, I don't know this for sure. He could probably go 1 for 3, and that would get it to 300.
He's got a lot of plate appearances, a lot of at bats, makes it a little bit more difficult.
Broken bat roller. Alonso has it. Manaea covering, side retired. So the double play helps Sean Manaea. We're moving to the second. 1-0 innings. A's Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by AAA. Get a free A's Stadium blanket with any new AAA membership. Visit a participating AAA branch today. Restrictions apply. So 1-0 second inning. Stephen Vogt hit a solo home run for the A's in the first. Alonso, Maxwell, and Eibner. And you see the Kings Court down the left field line. They all wear yellow. It's been going on for 3-4 years now, maybe.
Like that.
It's kind of a cool thing when Felix Hernandez pitches at home. They love him here. I think you add up the combination of, he's very good, first of all. He came up as a very young player, but I think he's always expressed the desire to stay right here in Seattle, and I think that means a lot to fans. You're right, Cap. When he signed the last contract, he became very emotional when he was talking about his stay in Seattle and that he wanted to stay here. Of course, I think every player given the opportunity would like to stay in one uniform, represent your team when you go to Cooperstown, which Felix will. Of course, the perfect game, 6-time All-Star, 19 wins. He got actually led the American League, but he won the Cy Young Award with fewer wins than that. But the perfect game in 2012 right here. He's only 30 years old. And that contract that Ray's talking about was a 7-year deal. It was actually an extension. Right. It runs through 2019, so he's going to be here for a while yet. It's at what, 175, 25 a year, which
a lot. really, by comparison, what it's going to be, and it's going to be underpaid, or at least paid handsomely, but less than other pitchers.
I think they're Felix Hernandez fans. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Sometimes you go out on a limb. And good for them. Backhanded. Freeman, the second baseman. That's Mike Freeman who throws out Maxwell 2-away.
You went out on a limb.
I know I did. Sometimes you get a little crazy up here.
How about this one? It's the Queen's ring, huh? Got his glove though.
Checking scores. Just checking the Seahawks score.
He's got his Arizona spring training jersey on. He's got the AZ on the right shoulder.
He'll be in Peoria before you die.
That's right.
Not Peoria, Illinois.
No,
Peoria, Arizona.
It's too cold in March in Peoria, Illinois, that is.
First pitch to Eibner is at the knees first time.
You know, speaking of Arizona, when King Felix goes down, of course, there are 15 teams in the Valley, but King Felix is kind of on his own program. They started that don't pitch against teams in the Western Division, with the exception of the Astros. The other teams are there. And so there are several times he's going to go to the minor league complex to pitch, to avoid pitching against teams. They all know he's great. They all know what he throws. So whether he pitches against them in spring training or not, doesn't really make a difference.
Nope.
They're not going to learn anything more than watch the video that Adam Roden puts together and realize he's just a very, very good pitcher.
And we showed you the resume, and the only thing that's not on there is a postseason appearance. I'm sure that is disappointing to him.
And you know, in reality, Cap, he's not ever, I don't think, pitched a meaningful game like today would have been had they won last night.
Would have been a big one.
And I think he was looking forward to it because, you know, the resume is important, but those big games, especially going to postseason or trying to get there, are very huge.
2-2 to count. The Mariners' 15th consecutive year without a trip to the postseason. That's what made last night's loss. It was a tough one for them. I give the A's a lot of credit. They just kept battling.
Yeah, as much as the Mariners wanted to make this meaningful, it was a great game for the A's young players to experience. Matt Olson caught the third out on the line drive. It's just a great experience for the kids.
Sky toward right field where Gutierrez waits. And that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Felix Hernandez. Bottom of the second coming up. 1-0 A's.
Market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. That's what everybody's doing, knowing that every game's starting at the same time today. They're checking everything out to make sure they're up on all the scores around baseball. Many a lot more important than others.
Foul straight back. So quick 0-2 count to Franklin Gutierrez, followed by Seager and Lee here in the second inning.
This time of the year, October the 2nd, the shadows already starting to approach home plate, and that's the difference in the time of the year. And before long, the shadows will be about halfway through the infield, making it very difficult for both pitchers, hitters, everybody involved. And there they're creeping around the first base line.
Another inning, huh?
Yeah, Kings Court's going to be in the warmth most of the day, if not all of the day, depending on the length of the game. High noon start or just after 12 locally.
In the dirt.
It's nice that the roof is open, something that the King Dome never could have to think about that. A beautiful day like today. Open this roof, King Dome was going to be closed regardless. So this is a great day here in Seattle.
2-2 pitch. Back just above us.
Yeah, we saw Sean Manaea pitch down in Anaheim start this road trip. He started Monday and gets the final game today, and that was probably one of his better games. 7 innings, just the Mike Trout home run, 13 ground ball outs in 7 innings. And for the big man who can overpower hitters with a fastball, to get that many ground ball outs was a special game for him, and he'd like to duplicate that today.
That one's hit towards center. Eibner backs up, but he's got room, and he makes the catch. How about this?
Yeah, that's great.
ERA leaders second half of the season. Sean Manaea 2.64, so that says a lot.
Yeah, especially if you're looking at the contracts of those three. Corey Kluber got an extension for Purcell and Verlander. Man, huge contracts. For
See the title?
I didn't see it. I was looking at the players.
Come on, Ray.
Well, put it back up. Put it up, because
Ray. With a little luck.
Oh, yeah. A little luck from my friend?
Yep, no.
Just a little luck.
Paul McCartney and wings.
I'm sorry. I was looking at those players, Josh. I apologize.
You promised you were going to
put it up
look
again.
At the title first.
Put it up, Sean. Put it up, Josh. Come on.
The important stuff about the draft.
I forgot all about it. I got so wrapped up in baseball. I forgot
quickly you let us down.
I just got wrapped up in the game, man. I'm sorry.
Disrespected Paul McCartney. And that you just cannot do, right? You know that. The great Paul McCartney.
Matter of fact,
and wings.
He was at. He was in Cleveland. I think it was Cleveland, had a concert, and they had the NBA championship parade. Nope, they couldn't get to the park because of everything going on.
That's right.
Yeah, but it was.
That shows you where he stands.
That's right. My apologies, Josh. Gosh, I feel so badly. Game 162, and I let him down. But I'm sure there's going to be another one.
You're going to have time to bounce back.
Yeah. The next time. Oh, baby. That's good. There you go.
Rookie strikeout leaders. He's 7th on the list in Oakland A's history. A little Peter Cetera there. Next time I fall. Oh, there.
Well, McCartney, I can understand. I can't really name all of them like you can.
No. Sometimes I get a little help from the guys in the truck.
Help from your friend? By the way, that was a strike to Seager. It just wasn't called. Seager needs 1 run better today. If he got a hit last night in the 10th, that would have given him 100. He probably would not have played today. Although he might have been playing if they would have been playing for something. But for personal stats, he would not.
That's a good pitch right there, and he gets his first strikeout. So lowest average versus lefties. League is hitting 178 against Sean Manaea, with a little help from KC and the Sunshine Band.
Yeah. Mudfish Grant, Diego Seguin.
Some great names on there.
First starting pitcher for the A's. That's right, 70. Diego Seguin had the strongest hands of anybody I've ever seen, like vice grips.
I'm going to throw something out there, Ray. I think Diego Seguin started the first game in Seattle Mariners franchise history. Is that right?
That's right.
1977. I don't know how I remembered that.
And I want to say he was close, if not the guy in Kansas City.
Eibner's going to have just enough room, and we had way too much fun in that half inning. There's more to come. 1-0 A's after 2. Top of the third. Here's our McDonald's True Stories. We're just looking at some of the player highlights from this 2016 season. No doubt at the top is Chris Davis and his 42 home runs. Ryan Healy, what he has done in the second half. Marcus Semien, the strides he has made. And even Bob Melvin last night in our post-game interview threw out the name of Ryan Dahl, who his first full season in the big leagues. He's pitched in 70 games to a very fine 2.42 ERA, part of future of the A's bullpen. So some of the good things that have happened for the Athletics, even though the record certainly not what we had all hoped for. A's are 68-93. Last year they finished 68-94. Matt Olson, who takes a strike, 1-1 the count. Olson, Smolinski, and Semien. We certainly appreciate the manager Bob Melvin joining us last night. It helped that it was one of the better wins of the year, but he's a good man.
Well, he had a huge smile on his face this morning, and you know, we all thanked him for his time last night. But and he was bringing different guys in to his office today. I thought was really great, and you know, also great to see David Forrest, the general manager, here on the final day of the season to really wish everybody good luck in the offseason. So that's special for him to come up. But for Bob Melvin to call different guys in, and he brought Ryan Dahl in. Remember last night, we asked him about intentionally walking Cano to get to Cruz, and he told Ryan Dahl, you know, Ryan, even though he blew the saves, he says, if you don't get Cruz out, we don't win the game. And your 70th appearance, he said, I know you're on fumes. He said, but you're going to remember this game tonight, last night, in the future, when you're playing in really meaningful games, try to go to win some ball games, the championships, and you're going to remember it. 70 appearances by Ryan Dahl, and they have not just been, oh, let's go in with a down 3 or 4 games. I think he's got the afternoon off, and he deserves it. But he is meaningful games. Bob Melvin really thought about a lot about him and his ability to get out hitters in situations.
Right center field, and that's going to get down for a hit. In fact, it's going to go all the way to the wall. And Matt Olson's going to have a double. So Olson gets his second big league hit, and that gets us to our Geico quote of the game, and it comes from Bob Melvin and our interview with him last night.
You know what? It's a little bit refreshing after what's gone on this season, and then when you have a game like this, boy, it's really fulfilling. So, you know, with the younger guys contributing in such a big game like this, they're gonna take something from this down the road. So, You know, we weren't doing too terribly well this year, and we brought in some guys that, you know, now we're teaching a little bit, and that as a coaching staff, like I said, can be refreshing, and it gets you through the season knowing you're trying to make some guys better and get them the type of experience they're going to need.
And he was referring to the question that we asked him, Ray, about the difference or kind of how you have to shift gears when, okay, you're not going to go to the postseason. So it's time to shift gears, and now let's play some youngsters and maybe teach a little bit. And he said, you know what? Not all bad. It can be refreshing. And thought he gave a very interesting answer, which he usually does. Smolinski pops out.
Well, it was such a great answer. We wanted to hear it straight from him instead of putting it up on a script, right?
Exactly.
You know, instead of typing it out. But see, there's one thing right there, and he's talked about it. Jake Smolinski was trying, but he had a pop-up, and so Matt Olson, who led off the inning with a double. And those are the little things. He's got to be at third base after the next hitter somehow, some way, if not in, so they can try to score him from third, because infield would be back, and against King Felix, you want to take every advantage you can to get runs against him.
First pitch to Semien, hit hard up the middle, base hit center field. Olson is being waved home. Here comes Heredia's throw to the plate, up the line. It's going to be an RBI single, and Semien's going to go to second. So the A's lead 2-0.
Well, that's as much, of course, for Marcus Semien against King Felix. He had 2 home runs against him last year. Hits a hanging curveball here into center field, and this ball got to Heredia quickly because of his speed, but Ron Washington said, let's send him because I don't think his throw is going to be strong enough, and it was not. Up the line, and Ineta had to go get it, so Marcus Semien able to get to second base with the throw, airmailing it. Ineta no chance to tag out Olson, so the A's 2 runs against King Felix.
So Olson doubles and scores. Here's Joey Wendell. Last night, Semien and Wendell each had 4 hits. Do not see that very often.
Well, the same thing happened last night in that 10th inning, Kai, when Maxwell led off with a double. Olson could not get him over, but Wendell got him in. And just like today, so that's called a bunch of individuals playing a team sport, picking each other up. And Semien picked up Smolinski when he not advanced him to third base, but he got him in with a base hit up the middle.
Pitch just a little bit outside. In the 4th inning, we're going to be joined by the president of the Oakland A's, Mike Crowley, who's in town this weekend. Mike's going to come up, sit with us for a little bit. Talk about the A's, the business side. Left field, Gamble coming in, and Gamble makes a nice catch. Off the bat, that looked like a hit. It just kind of hung up a little bit. Well struck ball by Joey Wendell.
Well, and Gamble playing shallow, Cap. We have noticed, look where he's playing in left field. And so ball slicing away, you hope it sliced a little bit more, but he had the speed. Glove on his right hand, left-handed thrower, which helps also. Didn't have to reach across, but able to get to the ball and take a hit away. Semien was almost to third base, had to hurry back, thinking he's going to be able to score.
So with 2 outs, Chad Pinder steps up, and Pinder is hitting for Stephen Vogt. So Stephen Vogt, home run, shut it down. Good for him. That one rolled up the middle, and it tips off the glove of Freeman, rolls into shallow center field. Semien's going to come in to score, and the A's lead 3-0. Give Pinder an RBI hit.
How about that? And for these young guys, you mentioned Semien last year hitting 2 home runs in 1 game against King Felix, and then the guys today, Olson gets a double to lead off the inning, and then off the glove of the second baseman O'Malley. I don't know that Heredia would have thrown him out anyway, because Semien was going to continue to run. So Pinder, who hit his first major league home run here in the first game, gets an RBI single against the King. That's got to be special. You get the offseason, hey, no big deal. Got a hit, drove in a run against King Felix. It's good for your resume.
Ryan Healy struck out in the first inning. He's down and in. So whatever Healy does today, he'll finish with the batting average over 300, which is pretty impressive.
Better start looking for accommodations in the Valley next spring. And early.
1-2 now. Yeah, the big league locker room in spring training it's crowded, but it's not as crowded as that minor league locker room.
Oh, wow. New Wolf training facility, Fitch Park is nice, but you're right, crowded. Stephen Vogt won't have to worry about going there.
Bounce past Ron Washington, foul.
Think of Terry Steinbach in his last game with the A's, last at bat. Home run, 35 home runs, 100 runs batted in. Took the gear off, said, see you later.
Gotta go.
Yep. So Stephen Vogt, what a way to finish his season. Opposite field home run on a curveball.
Good take there by Healy. It's that changeup that almost acts like a splitter from Hernandez. He throws it pretty hard. He gets a lot of his strikeouts with that pitch.
Mark Ellis saying several years ago about how tough he was, and he said especially with the changeup because it looks like a fastball, but it's thrown so hard, but just about 4 to 5 miles slower.
2 pitch, the runner goes. That's Pinder, and another foul ball. So he throws the changeup 28% of the time, second most in the majors. You see the velocity, so that's a unusual velocity for a changeup. And he gets him swinging. But a couple of runs for the A's. They get 2 runs on 3 hits. So bottom of the 3rd coming up. 3-0 Athletics lead. Guest is live on CSNCalifornia.com. Log on each week as our insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests, and more. Joey Wendell is this week's guest. The A's Insider Podcast is on CSN California, and it's sponsored by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition. Sean Manaea with a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd, facing Gamble, Ionetta, and Freeman. 1-1 the count. Ben Gamble had a big hit last night in that crazy game. RBI single. Broken bat roller, and that is a fair ball. Picked up by Alonso right near the bag, 1 away.
You saw the numbers with Sean Manaea against the lefties, and he's proven that again today. Seager struck him out with a good breaking ball. Cano broke his bat with a ground ball to first, and now Gamble same way, the 3rd lefty, and Sean Manaea, especially the way he delivers the ball, it's got to be very tough on lefties to pick the ball up. Switch pitcher Pat Venditti warming up.
Chris Iannetta, the veteran catcher. First time we're seeing him.
He signed a 1-year deal with an option.
Yeah.
The way Mike Zunino has come back, I don't know that Chris Iannetta is going to be back here. We'll see. Started at the beginning of the season, played a lot. Was with the Angels following the Rockies time.
Iannetta with the Rockies and then some good years with the Angels. This year, 7 home runs, 24 runs batted in. Foul straight back.
Well, perhaps one of his teammates, I don't know at the time, but Matt Holliday, who was with the A's for a short amount of time. What a storybook ending, as they told him that the switch pitcher told him he's not going to pick up his option for next year. He had broken his hand or his thumb or something, came back, hit a pinch hit home run in the game on Friday night. Never hit a pinch hit home run before in his life. Probably never pinched it.
Not a lot.
No, and then hits a pinch hit home run for his probably, well, I think he hit yesterday too, but as far as that one, standing ovation and very emotional night for him and fans.
We'll see if Matt Holliday wants to keep playing. He's had a very, very fine career.
Signed a huge contract extension with the Cardinals after he was traded by the A's to St. Louis.
Just a bit inside. Iannetta with the walk.
Something that Iannetta does well, and that's shows a lot of patience. He's drawn some big walks against the A's. His first at bat today does the same.
So with Iannetta aboard, here's Mike Freeman. Freeman playing second base today. First pitch is a good one, 92 miles an hour and a strike. Freeman had a big hit last night in a pinch hitting role.
And we're talking about all the A's young players, but the Mariners had a few as well.
It's a strike. Marvin Hudson, my new favorite umpire. Freeman's like, what?
This is called game 162, and it doesn't mean a thing.
Yeah,
although he did go. There go Marvin.
You're still my favorite,
That's
Marvin.
That's right.
1-2 the count.
It's called a front door slider. Or started in there.
Ripped to center and a base hit.
Fans, you can join Dallas Braden along with some of your favorite A's players from the past at the 2017 Oakland Athletics Fantasy Camp. It's held from January the 13th to the 19th at the A's new spring training facility in Mesa, Arizona. Spend a memorable week of baseball alongside legends like Bert Campy Campaneris, Mike Moore, Shooty David, Dave Stewart, and many more. Play baseball every day like a pro and get the scoop on what it's like to be in the big leagues. For more details, go to HendersonBaseball.com, or you can call 509-993-7338. It's a fun time. You ever been to a fantasy camp? And then you go down to spring training facility and realize how great that is. You'll go back for spring training after the fantasy camp.
It all works together.
Yeah, it sure does.
Fantasy camp just sort of leads you toward spring training.
One of my most memorable camp is when they had a mini fantasy camp at the Coliseum many years ago.
How'd you do?
Well, I was a coach manager. I didn't I'm not going to embarrass me. But anyway, Catfish Hunter, Lake Catfish Hunter. What a special day for all those campers to be able to hit. I mean, everybody got to hit against catfish. And what a special day that was. The cat could throw forever.
Sure.
And he just kept throwing. These guys would go up and hit. He said, I own Catfish. I said, really? You own him? I don't think so. You might have gotten a hit because he let you, but if he wanted to get you out, I think Vida was just the opposite. If you got a hit off him, he'd bear down and drill you.
Oh, no question. No question.
You got to hit
snap off a big curveball.
Oh, yeah. Lift that high leg kick and throw about a 95, 96. I don't care. You think you can hit me? All right, I'll show you.
And then he would chuckle about it.
Oh, yeah. Say, Vida, what are you going to do in the offseason? I'm going to stand and lean. So what do you mean? I'm going to stand on the corner and lean on the post down in Louisiana. These guys were beauties, man. The Catfish was so nice. He just let the guys hit the ball and make them feel so good. Get a hit off a Hall of Famer.
In the air toward Eibner, who over back, and he makes the catch for the second out.
It's like King Felix might be finished for the day. 3 innings, and Pat Venditti is warming up. So we'll see if that happens. Going to see a lot of in and out, and I don't know, maybe Scott Service might let King Felix go to the mound and then go out and take him just to get him a nice ovation from the crowd. Bring Pat in.
And you know, we don't know how Scott Service was going to work this today, but who knows? Maybe if the Mariners are winning, maybe he leaves King Felix in there for 5 to try to get him a W.
I think this is just a way maybe to acknowledge some of the great ones. And Sean Manaea just trying to finish on a positive note.
Manaea coming into this start 138 innings pitched at the big league level, so he's going to have a nice workload. Something to build off of. Seems like pitchers with Manaea as an example, if you get to 140, 150, okay, that's decent. It's got to get better, but I think next year, if you stay healthy, then you can start pointing toward 180 and 190. And a lot of it has to do with staying healthy.
And I'd still say he just showed it again. This is first and second, really not a threat for anybody first to run. And Robbie Cano waits, but Sean Manaea, the slide step, and there is just nothing lost at all with his velocity on any of his pitches and the accuracy when he uses the slide step.
Pitch straight back.
I say that because the slide step you use primarily with the runner at first to keep him close, but you rarely see a pitcher use a slide step with the runner at second or first and second in this case. So he can lift the leg, get more on it, but he's so accustomed to keeping the foot so close to the ground and not losing anything off his pitches that he continues to pitch that way. Quite exceptional.
Tapped foul right off the end of the bat.
In the slide step, key is that front foot just kind of slide along the ground. That enables you to get the ball to the plate quicker. But again, he doesn't lose anything. Usually when a pitcher does that, he'll lose some velocity. He'll do it with the runner first, but it's been remarkable all season to pitch that same way and be as effective as he has. Oh, just as I say that. Goes the high leg kick. Change it up a little bit.
43 pitches so far for Manaea. There's your runners. Iannetta at second and Freeman at first. Got him. Good pitch. And the second strikeout for Manaea. And the Mariners do not score. A's president Mike Crowley will join us in the booth when we come back. A's leading 3-0. Top of the 4th inning when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change at Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts, as former Athletic Pat Venditti takes over. He's already warmed up right-handed. Now he's going to warm up left-handed, and then he will be ready to go. And we're joined in the booth by President of the Athletics, Mike Crowley. Mike, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Are you a switch pitcher? Can you throw?
No, I'm not. I can't throw with either arm.
You were a sinker slider guy from the left side.
Yeah,
we know all about that. So we talked with Bob Melvin last night, and obviously with the way the season has gone, the emphasis on the young players. From the business side, how do you look at it as far as seeing the young kids come up? And is it sort of like, hey, how can we make this work on the field and make it work off the field as well with a lot of young players who we think have a bright future?
Yeah, I mean, we'll start with a couple of bright spots in an otherwise difficult season. Chris Davis has been terrific for us. I mean, he's doing things that we haven't seen since McGuire, Canseco, and Giambi. You saw him hit his 42nd home run last night. He's been terrific for us. Marcus Semion's been really good. He's been good both offensively and defensively, and a lot of that goes to Marcus, but Ron Washington's been terrific with him as well. So those two guys have been great, and we look forward to that to continue next year and obviously on into the future.
Mike, the one thing about the A's organization, going back from the first time they ever came, kind of cyclical. You win, you kind of rebuild a little bit, different things. How much do you see this club with that double down the right field line? That's against the left-hander.
So Alonso will have a leadoff double.
But from the standpoint, fans want to see a winner. But now you've got this good group of young players who are going to develop for the future. We've seen, as you mentioned, a couple of guys. Chris, of course, 3 years, but Healy and Wendell and Simeon, all these young kids are getting a chance to play. From the marketing standpoint and the front office, the business, and from the fan standpoint, how can you convince those people to say, come and watch this group, because they're going to be the future and the success of this ball club?
Yeah, I think some of it starts right here, and what they've seen in the last month from these guys. But we're fortunate. Billy and David do a terrific job. We've done this twice before. These young kids that you're seeing up here have won at every level throughout the minor leagues, and I don't expect anything less here at the big leagues. You've seen the last couple of nights these guys play hard. Bob's got them playing 27 outs, and that's important and fun to watch.
Exciting last night for you?
It was a little too exciting.
But just thinking about that, because Bob was so gracious to come on after the game, but he looked at the experience these young players are gaining in playing a game like last night. And it means nothing for the A's, or meant nothing other than trying to do what they did in the season for the Mariners. But man, it was an exciting atmosphere, almost like the 2012 final game of the season, at the Coliseum. Yeah,
that experience is invaluable for these guys. That was a playoff atmosphere here last night, and our guys gritted it out. Kept coming back even when things looked like it wasn't going to go our way, and. You can't get that experience playing in the minor leagues or even playing in spring training games. So it was a big step forward for a lot of our guys, especially Joey Wendell and Maxwell had great nights.
0-2 pitch to Maxwell, and he goes down swing. Mike, always a hot topic of conversation is the ballpark situation. I know recently you guys toured the Howard Terminal site. Tell us a little bit about that, and where is that in comparison to the Coliseum site, which I think seems to be still in play? Yeah,
I mean, we're committed to Oakland, and I'm incredibly happy about the resurgence of our city. You've seen some great things over the past 4 or 5 years in Oakland, and it's really on the upswing. We're working aggressively with the city and the county of Alameda and relevant stakeholders to evaluate a lot of venue options. You mentioned Howard Terminal. We did tour that recently. The Coliseum is very much in play, and right now that's much of our focus. But we're also evaluating potential sites near downtown. You've seen what downtown ballparks have done for other cities. We think this new venue for us should not only be a great venue for our players and our fans, but should be great for our city and help development there as well.
Well, we've had the opportunity to see the revitalization of downtown Cleveland. Detroit's coming back. Baltimore, of course. And, those are downtown stadiums that really have brought a lot back into the city areas. And I think it's special, and that's something that regardless of where it is, it's got to help the Oakland base, and downtown would be perfect. But I think right now, from the standpoint of players and fans, a stadium would be great.
It would be, and you mentioned it. Ballparks can be a catalyst for development and growth, and you know, we want our stadium to be that as well. You know, we're committed to our fans, our partners in our community. You know, we were aware that this is a long process and you know, can be very frustrating at times, but you got one opportunity to make your mark on a community, and we want to make sure that that we do that well. You know, we want to create the single most compelling entertainment option in the Bay Area, and you know, we're going to be careful and diligent, but you know, hopefully we'll get to that point real quickly.
How does Major League Baseball look at everything that you're trying to do in Oakland and the Bay Area?
Oh, they look on it very favorably. I mean, we're in constant contact with the league, obviously. You know, it's important for the league. It's important for the, you know, the Players Association that you know, we solve our stadium situation. So they're there to lend assistance where we need it. I mean, there's been a lot of ballparks built in our league over the you know, the last period of time, starting with, you know, Bud Selig, and we got one going up in Atlanta right now. There's a lot of things to learn from them. So you know, we're certainly tapping into some of those resources as well.
Ultimately, though, does Major League Baseball give you the sense that, hey, we will help you if we can, but you guys have to get this done at some point? Not saying completely on your own, but you got to get the ball rolling.
No question. This is a local issue.
Yeah.
Right. This is a local issue. This is on us. You know, baseball has told us they're there to help and lend assistance where they can, but we've got to solve this on our own. And you know, I'm certainly committed to it, and I know our ownership as well.
Can you give us some sort of a timetable? Let's say hypothetically, once it happens, I mean, time-wise, what are you looking at, if you can even say that?
Yeah, I think a number of things have to fall into place before we can start discussing details or time. But you know, certainly time is of the essence, and you know, the sooner we can do that, the better off the franchise will be. You know, obviously, we want it to be a great world-class fan experience, you know, while materially strengthening the product on the field. And you know, the sooner we can do that, the better off we'll all be.
1-2 the count to Matt Olson. It's outside, but you listen. You're here. You look around at this ballpark. I know you go to other ballparks, specifically the new ones. Do you jot down notes from each ballpark? What you like, what you don't like?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I love going on the road. I love seeing the fans. I love seeing our fans in other markets come out and support the team. You know, you lose a little bit of that when you're you know, at home, but you know, we've got a lot of great fans at home and a lot of great fans on the road. And I wander around the ballpark when I'm here. You know, and look at things that you know, other stadiums are doing, and said, hey, you know, that would work in Oakland, or that wouldn't work in Oakland. Yeah, you know, it's no sense recreating the wheel if there's something that's working in other ballparks. And you know, this is a beautiful ballpark here in Seattle.
And what do you like about this park? I mean, one thing that sort of maybe stands out as you walk around. Of course, he's going to hit into a double play.
Vinny, let's go, Vinny.
Vince Scully, I am not. Well, Mike, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it, and good luck.
Appreciate it.
Something's going to happen soon, and you're going to be a big part of it, so we're looking forward to it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right. President of the A's, Mike Crowley, has joined us as we are headed to the bottom of the fourth. 3-0 A's. 3-0 over the Mariners, bottom of the 4th inning. And a beautiful day here in Seattle. Final game of the 2016 season.
Yeah, Cap, we were here last year, and Skipper wasn't happy when the Mariners won late. It did not mean anything for either club, but I don't think either club wants to go in the offseason with an L. I think the A's were happy to win last night to end their 5-game losing streak, because this stadium, just thinking back to 1995, this stadium was a result of the tremendous comeback by the Mariners in '95. And at that time, the A's lost the last 9 games of the season.
Ew.
And it helped the Angels have the 1-game playoff against the Mariners. The Mariners, of course, won with a big unit. But, you know, you never want to go in the offseason. You want it to be a positive experience. And for the players, it's been great. And I think from Bob Melvin and his team's standpoint, he wants to do it as well, and just go in with a nice taste in the mouth. So Sean Manaea trying to complete the deal today. 3-0 lead, the 4th inning, and shadows are starting to creep near home plate in the playing area around the first base line. So maybe that will help the big man as he continues to pitch in the game.
Robinson Cano grounded out to first in the 1st. Couple of strikeouts and a walk so far for Sean Manaea. Rolled foul.
You know, as badly I think as Cano wants to get to 300, I don't know if he's happy facing this lefty Sean Manaea, but he was going to be playing regardless. He plays against lefties and righties. Manaea is just very good. Did give up a home run to Seager and Nelson Cruz in earlier starts, but today the sweeping slider seems to be working well against the lefties.
No, taps that one slowly. Alonso has it, and he shovels to Manaea, and they just get Cano.
With his glove, the ball in the glove did not have time to take it out of his glove, and so just a little flip, almost like a highlight, as Sean Manaea slipped a little bit going over to cover first base, but with Alonso just flipping the ball out of his glove perfectly to Sean covering. And take your time, big guy. Take up some divots, but Alonso is great.
So 1 out. Here's Franklin Gutierrez. All right, in that wild card chase, time to get updated. Remember the Orioles and the Blue Jays, that's all they have to do is win. If those 2 teams win, then they will be the 2 wild card teams. Right now, the Baltimore Orioles leading the Yankees 3-1 in the 5th inning. So the Orioles so far are doing their thing. The Blue Jays and the Red Sox are scoreless in the 4th inning. The Tigers, they need a lot of help. The Tigers have to win today, and they would need one of those 2 teams to lose. And then the Tigers would have to play the game tomorrow. Foul just to our right, and right now the Braves leading the Tigers 1-0 in the 4th inning in Atlanta. And over in the National League, the Giants are leading the Dodgers 5-0 in the 3rd. Cardinals leading the Pirates 1-0 in the 4th. So that's your updated scores. Again, the Jays and the Orioles, they just have to win. Tigers need help. Tigers have never wanted to play a makeup game more than they do tomorrow.
Especially at home.
So we'll keep an eye on those games as they roll along.
I think Cleveland could just go from Kansas City to Detroit to Cleveland. So they'll be able to work out prior to the league championship games starting.
Hard slider down and in. Gutierrez missed it. So strikeout number 3 for Sean Manaea.
Now the good slider in. Sean Manaea, high leg kick. He threw a good changeup to finish off O'Malley last inning. And then it's a good slider to the back foot to Gutierrez.
So 2 outs. Here's Seager. So we do know that on Thursday the Indians and the Red Sox will play game 1 of the division series. Both those teams have 93 wins. So who gets home field advantage in that series is up for grabs today. So the Indians have something to play for. Wild card winner will be at the Rangers on Thursday.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, if home field advantage, they finished the same record and the Indians really have played one less game and they don't have to play the makeup, is it head-to-head as far as home field? Because
I would.
they're not going to play.
Yeah, they're not going to play a game for that.
Right. So for the Indians, I mean, they've got a half game on the line, whether they play or not, which could be, it could be good or bad regardless if they play it.
Healy charges. He's got it. Throws to first, side retired. So another good inning for Sean Manaea. And we are moving to the 5th. A's 3, Mariners nothing. A's Baseball on CSN California, brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com. That's pretty cool looking.
What's it called?
Snoqualmie Falls.
Thought I heard snow. Looks like snow coming out for the. It's a lot of water. Can you pipe that down to the Bay Area?
Yeah, really, ain't that the truth? Smolinski, Simeon, and Wendell against Pat Venditti. Switch pitcher.
Well, we know he's the same type of pitcher, left or right, slider. Just like that. And we wish him well. He said he got a new glove. He's got the, I mean, he calls the manufacturer and he says, I need a 2-thumb glove. And that's what he got. Brand new.
Right field, and that'll be a hit for Jake Smolinski. Number 6 for the Athletics.
Jake was trying that his first at bat. This time he accomplishes it.
Leadoff man aboard for the A's for the 3rd consecutive inning. Venditti will stay throwing right-handed as Marcus Simeon steps up. Simeon picked up his 75th RBI. It was in the 3rd inning. Goes after the first pitch. 6-4-3 double play, 2 outs. And Venditti, pretty good sinker there, and he got exactly what he needed.
A couple of guys on last inning. Olsen on a 3-2 grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. Unfortunately, some of the games the A's have had this season get excited when the leadoff hitter gets on with the next batter. So Ricky Nolasco do it. I guess they were going to check to see if Simeon beat it, but he did not. So Venditti turning around to throw left-handed with Wendell coming up.
Joey Wendell, a ground out, and then he lined out to left. And Joey Wendell, he's made a pretty good impression on the Athletics in his short time here. He's playing in his 28th game. I would think he'll be in the mix for a spot on the 25-man roster next spring training.
I agree with you 100%. Players have had the opportunity to go to winter ball, but they have recently changed their mind, declined a little bit. I think Joey is one that's going to go to Mexico. Actually, he had said they wanted him there right now, but he's going to wait till the season's over, obviously, so he'll go down shortly. They have their own kind of spring training, but Joey Wendell's got some great spring training here in the final month of the season.
Two and two the count. Felix Hernandez went 3 innings, gave up 4 hits and 3 runs. Slider. Ball boy sitting right next to the A's dugout. Check this out. Paying attention. And he caught it with his bare hand.
You better pay attention. That's a screamer.
Big time. Nice play. Those 2 gentlemen sitting right behind him are happy. Like one of them was sleeping. So he was probably not going to get out of the way. So Joey Wendell with a 2-out walk.
See a few players do what Wendell did there. He had the shin guard underneath his pants, underneath the pants, and then pulled up the pant leg and removed the shin guard. Protection where nobody knows you have it. That's good.
Chad Pinder, it's a little pop-up left side of the diamond. And it'll be the shortstop O'Malley who grabs it side, retired. A's get a hit. He raced on a double play. Bottom of the 5th coming up. 3-0 Athletics.
CSN Plus, which can be found on Comcast SD 105 and HD 780, AT&T channel 1768, that's 1768, and DirecTV 698-1. If you can't find CSN Plus, log on to csncalifornia.com or call your local cable provider. Don't want to miss that. So now you know how to find out all that information about the Raiders post.
Another terrific win by the Raiders on the road again.
On the road again. You did one and you didn't even know it. Right?
I know. I can't help it.
Just trying to follow the great Joshua.
So bottom of the 5th inning. Lee, Gamble, and Iannetta against Sean Manaea, who's been good. Giving up just a couple of hits. trying to finish strong, pick up his 7th win. Lee fouls it straight back. Dae-Ho Lee, 14 home runs for the Mariners this year. That one tapped up the third base line, and that's going to be a hit for the big fella. He's not going to get a lot of infielders.
No, he will not.
All right, picks are in. Time for the Ford right choice, and this is Ray and my picks for what's going to happen. And I'm just going to admit it right now, Ray, I did not spend a lot of time on this. I just went with my first gut feeling.
Yeah.
I got the Red Sox over the Rangers in the ALCS, the Nationals over the Cubs in the NLCS, and I got Dusty Baker finally getting his World Series, which he's come close to. So I got the Nats. You, on the other hand, like the Indians over the Rangers, Cubs over the Dodgers, and then you're going with your old team, the Tribe, over the Cubs.
I'm just thinking maybe this is the year, and you know,
so somebody's going to end a drought. That's what we're all saying.
Berkeley, the Indians hitting coach, said in spring training. Now this will go back in March. Indians and Cubs, Indians winning. So I mean that would be storybook.
Yeah, rips one toward right center, and Eibner's not going to get it, and it bounces up and over the wall. So it'll be second and third, nobody out. Ben Gamble hit that ball well.
To be honest, it looked like Eibner, as he was going after the ball, kind of lost sight of where it was, and maybe with the sun, ball coming out of the shadows. And right there, he kind of went a different direction, and then after it at an angle, then over the fence when it hit the warning track. Well, I'll be honest with you, we've seen 3 now in the last couple of games that have hit the warning track, ended up over the fence for ground rule doubles. So that's either hitting it perfectly or it's a very hard warning track.
Well, the first pitch to Iannetta is the strike. So Manaea in a jam. He stranded a couple runners in the third. And we get Chris Iannetta. Mike Freeman is in the on-deck circle. Swing and a miss. Came at him with a high fastball. Runners, Lee is at third. Gamble at second. Speed pitch, and Iannetta rolls it foul. Iannetta walked back in the third inning. So you got the Indians, I got the Nationals.
Well, that's good either way because Dusty Baker has never won one. It's come close.
We're trying to make everybody happy, although that would not make the Cubs fans happy.
No, but you know, if you kind of look at it like the Warriors and the Cavs, where the Warriors had the best record in the season. Cubs have had a tremendous record. I mean, won more games than they've ever won. And so really the added pressure on the Cubs, and they've got to go through the division and league championship just to get to the World Series. It'll be the first time since '45. But I would think there are a lot of Cubs fans figuring this is going to be the year, considering the way they have played, and it could be. Who knows?
They've been terrific. 102 wins for the Cubs.
I mean, they've got the pitching. They've got 3 top of the line to. Really, all you need is 3 in postseason. And a very innovative manager who will try a lot of different things.
Way outside, so 2-2 the count.
But you know what? I just want to hear Big John Adams on the drum postseason.
Postseason drum, that's right.
They didn't have to buy a ticket for his drum. And Big John could be up at the top of left field underneath the big scoreboard and bang his drum.
So 2-2 the count to Iannetta. Got it. Change up and a good one, and Iannetta strikes out.
Well, he hit a big strikeout. He needs another one too with the infield back, so it pulled the string nicely. And Iannetta started after the fastball instead, off speed, got him way out in front. All he really needed to do is put the ball in play and he gets a run, and same thing for the left-handed hitter Freeman. He got a base hit up the middle in his first at bat. That was following the walk to Iannetta.
So Freeman had a base hit in the third. Toward Healy, who scoops it. Healy was playing in. And that's the second out.
That's great. Strikeout and a ground ball to third. Same thing Cano did last night with a runner at second. Couldn't advance him. Good job by Manai getting the ball in on the lefty, and any place other than pitcher in third scores a run. It went to the third baseman.
So now 2 away, and here's Guillermo Heredia. Heredia takes a breaking ball. 4 strikes. So good first pitch strike from Sean Manaea. The beauty of a first pitch called strike.
Right.
Foul back, and now Manaea ahead in the count 0-2. Lee opened it with an infield single. Gamble doubled. Pitch hit hard, fair down the third base line on an 0-2 pitch. It's going to bring home a pair, and Heredia gets a big hit for the Mariners to make it 3-2.
Tried to go back to the same changeup he got Iannetta. This time it didn't work. Did not fool him, and give Heredia credit for not having a big swing with 2 strikes, and as a result stayed back on the changeup and hit it past the diving Healy. And the first 2 are kind of gimmies. The third hitter, I've always felt there's less pressure on the third hitter because with 2 outs he's not supposed to do what Heredia just did. But I think it's, you think of the changeup and the slider, and I know when Trout hit the 3-2 changeup versus a slider, I mean those pitches, it's just the change of the way the ball breaks. A changeup is straight, change of velocity, but it's straight. A breaking ball can be change of velocity and be going down, which could be harder for the hitter to hit.
And here's O'Malley. So just like that, the Mariners have the tying run at second base. A couple of doubles and a single. Pitch roll foul to the backstop. O'Malley has hit into a double play and he is struck out. O'Malley at 75 pitches, trying to get through the 5th. That just missed outside. That's pretty straight away for O'Malley. Fastball out away from him. A fan in the first row stood up, had his glove on. It was right to him. He dropped it. Unable to pick it up because it fell down into the lower level. That hurts. That's a play that's going to haunt him.
Going on negatively in the offseason in April.
Exactly. It's not good. Smolinski comes in. Smolinski has it. Side retired. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Mariners. So we're headed to the 6th. A's 3, Mariners 2. Moment brought to you by Coors, the banquet beer. On this date in 1969, only 5,473 fans attend the Pilots' final game in Seattle. They were only here for 1 year. Actually defeated the A's that day. The American League's newest franchise attracts only 677,000 fans. And the next year, Bud Selig bought them, moved them to Milwaukee, and they have been the Milwaukee Brewers ever since. So the Seattle Pilots, Ray, existed for 1 year. 1 year.
I played there. Played against them there. And that was Sick Stadium, and it was sick. It was a stadium that they used for the Seattle, let's see, whatever the Seattle AAA team was called when I played in Portland. But it did move. They did move. And Jim Bowden pitched for the Seattle team. Frank Howard played for them. Some good players, just not a lot of success.
And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. As Cody Martin to the mound. Do you remember Cody Martin? He made a couple starts for the A's last year. 4 total appearances. The Mariners claimed him off waivers from the A's on the 19th of October this past off season. So Cody Martin, he may look familiar.
Yes, he does.
Healy hits one very high but foul. So Ryan Healy, a couple of strikeouts today. Alonso in the on-deck circle, and then it'll be Maxwell. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, kind of a high breaking ball. Healy swings and misses. So Healy strikes out for the 3rd time today.
Well, he might have recognized it, but it was sweeping away from him and maybe even out of the strike zone.
Well, with 1 out, Yonder Alonso steps up. Alonso a fly ball to right field and a double. First pitch, a strike, says Jim Joyce. Shift is on for Alonso. We've seen a lot of that this year, but we've also seen Alonso be able to hit the ball the other way. But I think the theory is he pulls the ball on the ground When he hits the ball the other way, he does it much more in the air. Some updated scores. The Orioles are doing what they need to do. They lead the Yankees 5-1 in the 6th inning. And the Blue Jays just got a run. They lead the Red Sox 1-0 in the 5th. Atlanta still leading Detroit 1-0 in the 5th. Again, for the Jays and the Orioles, they just have to win their game. If that happens, then they will square off in the wild card game. That game would be played in Toronto. The Blue Jays won the season series over the Orioles 10-9. So a little work to do there yet.
Let's go back to that vendor carrying that load with no hands. That was pretty impressive. Look at that. That's some balance. I think he's more concerned about walking up the stairs and not spilling it than selling it.
I don't think there's any question about that.
But that's impressive. Lemonade and kettle corn. Yeah, balance it out a little bit. Yeah, he put his hand on it. I don't blame him. I mean, try to sell some, make some money.
But a good effort.
I think the Blue Jays, and we always talk about teams struggle to get to postseason. When postseason begins, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's all starting all over again. And you know, these two teams here will be heading home. Some leaving from Seattle, from the A's to go home. Some will be going back to the Bay Area and going home from there. But those 10 teams.
Now that second on the first, and that's double play. But just like that, 4-6-3 double play. And the A's do not score. Bottom of the 6th coming up. 3-2 Athletics. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Most home runs hit in the big leagues since 2014. Nelson Cruz the most by a fairly wide margin, 12 more than Encarnacion. And Nelson Cruz, a huge home run last night wasn't enough, but at the time, boy, this place was rocking. That tied the game at 7. The A's would hang in there and end up winning the game. For Cruz, not going to get into today's game. He's going to finish with 43 home runs and 105 RBIs. So another terrific season for Nelson Cruz. So 3-2 A's lead. Here's Robinson Cano. Swing and a miss. Robinson Cano has grounded out twice to the first baseman. He's DHing today. Wrapping up a very fine season, his 3rd year with the Mariners.
To see what would happen if he got a hit in this at bat. if you get to first base and they take him out saying you got to 300, and to your point about 1 for 3, if that does it, then he's looking for the hit.
Well, somebody has it all figured out. I guarantee that.
They sure do. Dropped a point with the first 2 at bats, and we do not know can average up, and 1 hit does it, then that may be it.
He swings and misses. So Cano 0 for 3. So strikeout number 5 for Sean Manaea.
A good sharp slider, and yet to think back to the changeup he threw to Heredia, especially with a very good slider. And it's just, again, not only the change of speed, but the different direction which a ball heads, and the changeup is straight.
So with 1 out, here's Gutierrez. Gutierrez takes a fastball right there for a strike. Semien backhands. Nice play. Throws over top in time. 2 outs.
Fun to watch Marcus Semien. He was setting up to take the backhand immediately. So as the ball was hit, kind of positioned himself, knowing that based on his work with Ron Washington, go to the backhand and then quickly release it across the diamond, and it's Gutierrez by plenty. You know, regardless of what happens, and you know, I think Ron Washington eventually wants to manage again, and that might happen. Who knows? But if he does, Marcus Semien has learned a lot from him and his work with him starting last year and all of this 2016 season. That's going to pay off for him as he goes forward. And of course, the hitting coach, Ron Washington, of course. Don't know how many openings there will be this winter. I think Atlanta is one that might be interviewing.
That sounds like the White Sox are going to make a managerial change. Rick Renteria is going to take over for Robin Ventura.
So no interviews there. But that's,
nope.
That's a done deal.
You always have of course, the managers on the hot seat, which never know whether that's really true or not. Want to know the count to Seager. A little bit low. Liam Hendricks getting ready. 85 pitches for Sean Manaea. Holding on to a 3-2 lead. Caught a little bit of Seager.
Last day of the season, not what you want. Straight down, and right over the back, knee maybe bounced up. I think the one that stands out the most devastating is Ryan Howard, torn Achilles in the final at bat in postseason.
That's right.
A few years ago. You think about going into the offseason instead of getting in shape and preparing for the next season, you're rehabbing from a major injury. And the Achilles injury is huge.
So 2-1 to Kyle Seager. Seager sitting on 99 RBIs. Fastball is inside, so 3-1.
Watch him load up on this pitch.
You think?
He wants the one ribby, and since there's nobody on base, the only way he can get it in this at bat is hit a home run.
And he did, and he got a pitch to hit, and he skies one foul territory. And Yonder Alonso makes the catch, and it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Sean Manaea. Nicely done by the left-hander. 3-2 A's as we head to the 7th. California is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroads. Go out for a train ride through the Redwoods on Thomas. Come back with Percy. Some say it's a trick. We say it's a treat. Seattle Space Needle on a gorgeous day. A's trying to finish the season on a winning note. Leading 3-2, top of the 7th inning. It'll be Brett Eibner to lead it off. Eibner, Olsen, and Smolinski will hit against Cody Martin, who is the 3rd pitcher in the ball game for Seattle. Swing and a miss. One pitch to Eibner, curve, but spins inside. They just announced the attendance today. It's 24,856, and for the season for the Mariners, they finish at 2.26 million. 2.26 million.
You would think they would draw a lot more here. This beautiful stadium, but sometimes the success or lack of determines the attendance for the season. Usually they build on previous season success.
Well, last year they drew 2.19, so they had a little bit of an increase this year.
I think a lot of expectations coming into this year based on last year and the offseason. But if you ever want to watch a baseball game, you want to come out here.
This is this is about as nice as you're going to get.
I mean, you could come last night when it was raining outside and still enjoy a game indoors, or at least with the canopy. I think it's interesting as we're driving in, and you could see the train tracks, or the huge tracks on the outside of the stadium over the railroad tracks that allow this roof to close or open. So I'm saying in the Twin Cities, the reason they didn't do something like this there, they didn't have the extension beyond.
That's right. You have to have a place for that roof to settle when it's open.
You see it. Yeah, you see it open now. That it is settling on some tracks over the train tracks beyond right field.
Camels there. I think if the Mariners ever had one of those stretches, and well, I mean, they did back in 95, 97, 2000, 2001. But only a couple of those years, 2000 and 2001, were they playing here. If they ever made it to the World Series or had a couple long postseason runs, I think their attendance would skyrocket. It's the only. They don't have an NHL team, unfortunately for them. They don't have an NBA team, unfortunately for them. The Seahawks are extremely popular, and I think the Mariners are as well. The minor league or the professional soccer team here is extremely popular.
But I think you hit the nail on the head when you said they've not even been to postseason in 15 years. That means that since they've been in this new stadium, they have not been to postseason. I guess no, they have.
Yeah, they have
2001.
twice,
Yeah, 2001 was it. They were here. Just remembering that.
But I mean, that can do so much for an organization. I mean, look what happened in Toronto. Now looks like they're going to go again this year, but now they lead the American League in attendance. I think the attendance would be huge here if they just put it together and had a 3 or 4 year run.
But they said last year that when Troy Tulowitzki was traded by the Rockies to the Blue Jays, their tickets increased dramatically just for one player. Then they go in the offseason based on the postseason appearance last year. That was the first time since what, 93?
93.
They had been to postseason last year, and so the attendance picked up.
The Blue Jays, Ray, are averaging 41,878 per game. 3.3 million. So they will lead the American League. The Dodgers lead the National League at 45,000 per game.
I'm thinking back as I look at the flag above right field, the 2001 West champions when they won the 116. And if there was ever a year that you expected them to go wire to wire, that was going to be it, and it just didn't happen. So 2001, I mean, you won 116 games out of 162. And again, their manager, Lou Piniella, who unfortunately from the A's, remembering in 1990, he went wire to wire, including a sweep of the Athletics in the World Series.
Shallow right. Freeman grabs it, side retired. So the A's strand a runner, and we have reached the 7th inning stretch. 3-2 A's lead. So good stuff from the great Vin Scully, who's announcing his final game today. He's in San Francisco. Hopefully he's had a nice weekend up there. I'm sure he has. Probably a busy weekend.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But we wish Vin Scully the best of luck in his retirement.
He turns 89 next month.
Wow. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts, as Liam Hendricks takes over here in the 7th inning. A's leading 3-2. Daeho Lee fouls it straight back. So Sean Manaea finishes with a good outing. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. So 88 pitches for Sean Manaea.
They
See if
finished.
he can get a win.
Retired in the last 4 after giving up the 2-run double.
How many people have talked about their favorite Vin Scully calls? I mean, how can you really pick a favorite? There's been too many. Caminero, hard-throwing right-hander, is warming up for Seattle, but he's been there for a lot of them. We don't necessarily like to hear the Kirk Gibson home run, but it's one of the great calls.
Yes, it is.
0-2, Nadejo lead. Another foul ball down the right field line.
But I know it's a thrill for me to be able to be on radio and do the A's warm-up, and I appreciate Comcast Sportsnet California and yourself and guys in the truck to go over and do the open, the pregame and stuff like that. But to be able to interview guys like Vin Scully, you know, and those are timeless. And I ran them this weekend, and if I asked him about the call of Sandy Koufax's perfect game, he says, well, you know, Ray, I called about 25 no-hitters perfect game. Wow. I mean, you think about, I mean, we were blessed with Dallas Braden's perfect game, and here's a man who says, well, you know, I've called 25 or so, you know, but he remembered every detail of that game pitched by Koufax.
How about this moment in World Series history?
Can you believe this ball game at Shea? Oh, brother. So the winning run is at second base with 2 out, 3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
That is still one of the most improbable games I've ever seen, let alone be a World Series game. How the Mets won that game, I have no idea. 2 outs, nobody on base.
But
guys were heading back to the clubhouse.
And some were already in there. They were already in there, maybe having an adult beverage, figured it's over. But the thing you see now that Mookie Wilson and Buckner are doing a commercial together. They're dropping keys and, you know, doing things kind of reminiscent of that play by Buckner. But it's amazing all these years later.
Simeon toward the line, never an easy play, and Marcus makes it. 1993 World Series, that ended with a pretty big home run. Let's listen to Vinny's call.
This crowd has hollered itself weak. Henderson at second, Molitor at first, 1 out in the 9th, 6-5 Philadelphia. Stottlemyre and Castillo throwing in case of extra innings. Fastball is hit to left field, down the line, in the corner, home run.
Sometimes not saying anything is the smartest thing an announcer can do. And he was a genius at it.
He was, and he learned from Red Barber. And I remember in this interview that I did with him, and he just said that the crowd, and he talked about growing up and getting under the radio and listening to football games and getting goosebumps. And he said, when I stopped getting goosebumps, it's time to retire. From a broadcaster standpoint, as you look at his, I mean, you talk about a resume, the greatest of all time. And I agree with you, Hoodie. But he said he made a call one time, similar to that. Home run was hit, and he just let the crowd go. And he said there was a writer who wrote about it and said, Vin Scully just made the best call of his life. He said nothing.
He didn't say anything.
But I mean, basically what he's saying is the crowd. I mean, you're right. The crowd says it all. Joe Carter, I mean, other than Bill Mazeroski, nobody's ever ended a World Series on a home run.
So a good inning for Liam Hendricks with a little help from Vin Scully. 8th inning coming up. A's leading 3-2.
Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
So we have reached the top of the 8th inning with the A's leading 3-2 over the Mariners. It's a good effort. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Archimedes Caminero takes over. Shouldn't he have more strikeouts than that, Ray?
Well, I was going to say it for a soft tosser, you know.
He throws about 120 miles an hour.
I couldn't believe it. I think we keep talking about how did Pittsburgh let him go?
How did he get there?
Or get through everybody else to get to the Mariners.
So Joey Wendell to lead it off. Foul tip. Quick update. The Orioles leading the Yankees 5-1 in the 8th inning. The Blue Jays leading the Red Sox 1-0 in the 7th. The Braves leading the Tigers 1-0 in the 6th. So that is good news for the Orioles. If the Orioles and the Blue Jays both win, then that's it for them. They're in the wild card. And in the National League, Giants leading the Dodgers 5-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Pirates leading the Cardinals 2-1 in the 6th. The Giants win their in. If the Giants were to lose and the Cardinals win, then they would have to play a tiebreaker game tomorrow in St. Louis. So 0-2 the count to Joey Wendell. Pinder to follow, and then Healy, 8th inning. .99 miles an hour from Caminero.
And Wendell did what he's supposed to do. Start your swing, be able to hold up if it's out of the strike zone. Easier said than done because he can throw. He's going to go change up. How about that? Shook off a fastball to go change up. Work on a pitch.
And he got it.
Yeah. And you can't look for it. It's like Aroldis Chapman throwing a change up or slider when he throws 104. But he shook off the fastball, the 2-seam, the 4-seam, threw a change up in the middle of the plate at about 97.
Not what you're looking for. So one away, and here's Chad Pinder. So Ray, we should thank our guys down in the truck as we close out this season. We'll be doing the post-game show from here, you and I, so we'll get a little crazy at the end. So I'm going to send out a giant thank you to our producer, Delaire LaWars, our director, Tom Adza, our other director, Mike Bird, and our graphics operator, Josh Hood. They are the traveling party, the TV traveling party. And we could not do this without them. They are very, very good at what they do, and we just want them to know that we appreciate all their hard work. They are in that TV truck a long, long time before every game. So, guys, you guys are great.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. And Josh, to you, and putting up all those. I've watched every one ever since the one I missed at the beginning. But
you're a graphics king now.
That's right. Now, all the guys are good.
But those gentlemen, if it's a 7 o'clock game, they generally will be at the TV truck 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And they're not just sitting around all afternoon either. Well, you know, games, they're here very early. So,
you know, the one thing I think I know I appreciate, and I think I speak for you, that they listen. And it's important to listen because when we say something, they back it up. And I think that's as important as anything because I mean, we go off on a tangent and all of a sudden there goes the camera right to exactly what we're talking about.
You and I? No, we'd never do that, do we?
But no, it's great. And thanks to the guys. And glad you mentioned Mike Bird because we had him in the last trip for the final time. And you know,
some of the games.
Can't forget David Coppin, occasionally boss stepping in and doing some producing. So everybody, CSN California, thank you for a job well done.
So Chad Pinder gets the walk. Hey, coming off their amazing run at the Stanley Cup, the Western Conference champion Sharks will soon be back on the ice. Sharks hockey returns October 15th to CSN California. The home of the authentic Sharks fan is CSN California. So Sharks and the Warriors set to get going on CSN California and CSN Bay Area. So the two stations continue to be busy. Ryan Healy needs a hit. And he may have it as he slices one just fine. Not by much.
That would have been a thing of beauty. Maybe his last plate appearance for the season, to send one down about a 98-mile-an-hour fastball down the right field line. Just landed on to the right of the chalk. And they might have scored. That could have been a big run.
Oh, man, that was close. There's a dirt mark down there somewhere. So 0-2 to Healy. And his bounce just foul.
What he's trying to do, they've got it into 3 double plays and trying to avoid one in this inning. After Pender got on via the walk, and A's would like to have an insurance run or 2 going in the latter part of the game. 2 more at bats, regular part of the game for the Mariners.
And a fastball at 100 miles an hour, and Healy chased it. So 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
Well, Ryan Healy, if that is his last at bat, he can go in the offseason probably very upset, because that's 4 strikeouts in a season in which he has had a spectacular one. And I think Kyle said it best, no matter what happens, he's going to finish over 300. But he may look at this last day as one in which did he make contact for
He's not going to be happy.
No, he will not. But that's something to work on. You know, that maybe is a good sign to go in the offseason instead of being complacent and say, hey, I punched out 4 times in my final game of the season.
So Alonso is retired, and so are the A's. Bottom of the 8th coming up. A's hanging on to a 3-2 lead.
Start planning a spring break trip to see your Oakland Athletics in sunny Mesa, Arizona. The 2017 spring training home schedule features 18 games at Hohokam Stadium and is now available online. Sure to visit athletics.com/spring and join us at the best ballpark in the Cactus League. That's athletics.com/spring. Blue Wolf Training Complex. It is there for the minor leaguers.
All right, game summary for today brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 3-7-0 for the A's, 2-5-0 for the Mariners. Sean Manaea, strong finish, goes 6 innings, gives up just the 2 earned runs. Felix Hernandez went out there for 3 innings, Stephen Vogt a first inning home run. He hit a home run and said, "I'm good."
Yep.
That was it for him. So the A's trying to finish with their 69th win. Daniel Colon comes in, so he will pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. First pitch to Mike Freeman is a swinging strike. Freeman has singled and grounded out. Heredia will be next, and then Sean O'Malley. It's Altavilla. Dan Altavilla throwing. It's a good breaking ball from Colon. Orioles still leading the Yankees 5-1. That game in the bottom of the 8th now at Yankee Stadium. Maxwell says, "Can I just have like 20 seconds?" Jim Joyce says, "I got you, buddy."
You got him on the inside of the right knee. Let's hope it didn't venture other places, but like the right knee was enough, especially where it's not protected.
When tapped up the third base line, and Colon's throw not on time, so Freeman has a base hit.
There have been 3 of those today by the Mariners. 3. 1 a day is a lot, or 1 maybe a week, but they've had 3 today. Just up the line, and all 3 ended up base hits. Actually, Bruce Maxwell might have had a better opportunity. A little bit of a collision, and Coulomb actually spun and threw, but there's a case where Maxwell could make the 360 and may have been able to get the speedy runner, but maybe not either.
First pitch to Heredia is a strike. Blue Jays still leading the Red Sox 1-0 in the 7th inning in red. Just realized Aaron Sanchez, the starting pitcher for the Blue Jays, he's got a no-hitter through 6 innings.
It's a good way to finish.
Well, he's thrown 80 pitches through 6 innings.
Yeah,
in an absolute must-win for the Blue Jays.
You know, Mike Scully, the Astros, pitched a no-hitter the same day the Astros clinched the division. They didn't know what to celebrate, the division or his no-hitter, and so they decided to do both. Alan Ashby, our friend, was the catcher of that.
Maxwell again's going to have to hurry. He throws, and they just get Heredia on a close play. But now the tying run is at second base.
So there's 4 that have been chopped in front of the plate. Since some people don't like to hear a swinging bunt, but basically it's like when you swing hard and it ends up like a bunt, and then essentially that's what it is. But
swinging bunt is one of the great baseball
I know,
words.
but there are some people say that's, you know, that's, but it is a phrase, and it's basically you're swinging hard.
And it acts like a bunt.
Essentially, it's acting like a bunt because you couldn't place a bunt any better.
You know what it sounds like? Swinging bunt.
That's exactly right. And you don't get a sacrifice for it. You hope to get a hit, but definitely not a sacrifice. Thank you.
There is baseball language. And that would be part of it. Strike to Sean O'Malley. So Colon keep that tying run from scoring. Freeman has good speed. And the ball's tapped slowly. Right side. Wendell charges, throws, and they just get O'Malley for out number 2. So now the tying run is at third. It's going to be a pinch hitter for Robinson Cano. It's going to be Mike Zunino. So Zunino will try to tie up the game.
So Robbie Cano, don't you know, did not get a hit in 3 at-bats. John Sterling's got to miss him. Especially he had 39 times he could say, don't you know.
Don't you know.
But the shadows in front of home plate, so the hitter looking out to Daniel Coulomb in the sun, with the ball leaving the sun through the shade to the batter's box.
Not easy.
It's not. And again, we've talked about it, but it's usually this rotation. Hitters like to pick up the spin. That's difficult when it's coming out of the sun and all of a sudden it just goes dark. Let's hope it's dark enough for Zunino to miss it.
Chase that one, and now the count 1-2. So Coulomb try to finish him off.
Good velocity 95 after the good 12-6 curveball, and that is a great pitch by Coulomb. So he could go the same fastball put away, drop a hammer in there again, and
so now the count is even at 2-2. Full count. Zunino throwing out a pretty good at bat.
throwing the curve now. The pitcher to say he's not going to be looking for it. Throw it for a strike, get a swing and miss. Shook to it. Let's hope it's a good one.
And it was. Good breaking ball, and Zunino strikes out. Tying run stranded at third. So we're on to the ninth. 3-2 the A's lead.
Ticket memberships are on sale right now. Whether you want to renew your membership or join the party, visit athletics.com/2017. You'll find all the benefits that A's membership has to offer, including early bird incentives, exclusive experiences, half-price parking, a flexible ticket exchange program, and more. You can even lock in your 2017 seating location. Visit athletics.com/2017 and join the party. And I think I can had Mike Crowley, A's president, on hand. I think fans should be very interested in this club because we've seen championships in the past. develop homegrown players. The A's are doing that right now under the leadership of A's skipper Bob Melvin, and trying to take them into the offseason on a positive note. Show up in spring training ready to go.
There's an A's backer. He's leading this one 3-2 as we have reached the 9th inning. Dan Altavilla, this new pitcher. First pitch to Maxwell is a swing and a miss. Maxwell has grounded out twice and struck out. One of the groundouts was a double play, so he's 0 for 3. Fastball away. Another hard thrower. Altavilla, that one at 98. A little bit low. John Axford is throwing out in the A's bullpen.
That's in 2 innings last night. More likely not available today. And John Axford, a former closer. And sometime closer this year. He has 2.
Two the count. I would not think, Ray, that there's a whole lot of open spots in the A's bullpen when you look ahead to 2017.
So when everybody's healthy, Doolittle's the key to become. He hopes, and he's healthy now, and goes to the offseason that way. And skipper Bob Melvin said the same thing that you just said. And looking at a pretty strong bullpen.
Axford sign. Madsen sign. Dull's obviously not going anywhere.
Doolittle sign. He's multi-year
Doolittle
deal.
sign.
Liam Hendricks.
Liam Hendricks. I mean, he's nowhere near free agency. He's not going anywhere.
Sipskinski, who was and once traded to the Nationals.
Maybe Zach Neal has certainly earned consideration. Daniel Colomb is another lefty.
Well, you're mentioning a lefty from Coulomb, and if he can get righties out as he just did with Zanino on a 3-2. You have.
Don't forget about Rodriguez.
Fernando. Yeah, there's going to be some guys coming back off the DL. You're right. But Zach Neal, I mean, you always need somebody that, in the case of Zach Neal, he can do anything. He can pitch long, as he did last 2 nights ago, 5 perfect innings. He could pitch setup. So there's a lot of different ways. He could even spot start, as he's done this year. So somebody like that has a lot of value, a lot of versatility.
First pitch to Eibner is a strike down. Eibner hitless today. He did walk in the 4th inning. Slider first strike, hard slider at 91 miles an hour. Matt Olson will be next. A's wouldn't mind an insurance run. Got him good fastball at 98 miles an hour. 2 outs here in the 9th inning.
Well, it is very difficult to see, and I think Eibner just experienced it.
Well, especially tough to see, and then the velocity. The Boston Red Sox have tied up the Blue Jays 1-1, bottom of the 7th, and the Red Sox still batting. So what that does is it sort of opens the door for the Tigers a little bit, but the Tigers are still losing 1-0 in the top of the 8th inning in Atlanta. Orioles leading the Yankees 5-2 in the 9th inning. Cardinals and the Pirates tied 4-4 in the 7th. Giants leading the Dodgers 5-1 in the 7th. Seager's coming over, shading his eyes, and he caught it right in front of the A's dugouts.
Great catch.
So the A's 3 outs away from ending the season with a win. It's a 3-2 A's lead.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Hey, Know It All with Sportsnet Central. It's this evening at 6 and 10:30. 2 shows for you, and it's going to be on our sister station, CSN Bay Area. Full coverage of the baseball playoff picture. Highlights from the Raiders and Ravens and the Cowboys and the 49ers. Kelly Johnson and Henry Wolford will host. So bottom of the 9th, and it's a 3-2 A's lead. John Axford will try to save it. Axford, the 4th pitcher in the ball game. It's going to be Gutierrez, Seager, and Lee.
Well, we know what Seager's going to do, and we know Lee how he hits. It's just a matter of Gutierrez what he does.
First pitch is outside. Gutierrez is 0 for 3. Big swing and a miss. Only 6 miles an hour. Gutierrez stands on top of the plate. And the ball runs inside. So now 2-1. Gutierrez does have 14 home runs, so you have to be careful. Missed again. Now it's 3-1.
Everything seems to be up. Not exactly where Axford wants to pitch Gutierrez. What a day for Stephen Vogt. 1 pitch, 1 at bat, 1 home run.
The 3-1 pitch is popped up and just below us. We were ready.
Yes, you were.
Sort of. as much as we're going to be. So now full count. You do not want to put the tying run on base.
These guys do not want extra innings.
No.
Finishes it off very smoothly, very nicely.
And he got it. Went with a high fastball, and Gutierrez went after it. May have been ball 4.
It looked like Gutierrez is trying to do what we know Seager's going to be trying to do, and that is trying to time with one swing of the bat. And you're right, that could have gone either way. Maybe he thought that Jim Joyce might be a little pitcher friendly at this point, so he decided to swing at it. But a high fastball is always difficult for a hitter, as we have seen throughout the year.
So here's Seager. First pitch to Seager is a fastball on the inside corner, first time. Quiet day for Kyle Seager. Shift is on. Way inside. It's been Manaea, Hendricks, Colomb, Axford. They've all done a good job today. Line foul.
Almost like a protecting swing with 2 strikes, but it was not. Just 1 strike on it.
So Axford ahead in the count, 1-2. It's 2-2.
You're going to pitch in there in this situation. You want to make sure it's off the plate or close enough that the hitter is going to do what Kyle Seager did, back off, because flirting with danger with a power hitter who would love nothing better than to get his 100th ribby. When you go inside like that, might help him.
And that one is lined to right field. Olson's back at the wall. He leaps and he caught it. Matt Olson up against the wall. He leaped up and caught it. And only the replay will tell us whether he took a home run away from Seager.
Well, they did go back inside, and this is the problem you have. Seager, maybe a little bit too much topspin, but regardless, a tremendous play by Olson. Would it have gotten up?
Ooh, I think it was gone.
It was gone. It was going to be above the line. You're right. And that's why the look of Seager looking at him, and Seager, a smile robbed him, but as hard as it was hit, I don't know if he had enough topspin to get below the line, and had it gotten over, that would have been a tie game, his 100th ribby. But a great play by Matt Olson and the lucky 13.
Well, this is the pinch hitter, Daniel Vogelbach, big, strong, left-handed hitter. Vogelbach came over in a trade from the Chicago Cubs. It was for the left-handed pitcher Mike Montgomery. Stands well off the plate. 98 miles an hour, and the count is 1-1.
If he's off the plate, you can go towards the outside part of the plate and not take a chance inside, as Seager almost did. That's scary.
Well, he's off that one as it dives down and away. So 2-1 to Vogelbach. swing. He's got it. He's a big, strong young man. Wow.
But he's up there to do one thing, and he wants to pull it. He wants to hit a home run.
Two pitch, a little high, 3-2. Three-two pitch, swing and a miss. Axford strikes him out, and the A's win the season finale here in Seattle. So another good ball game, another tight game, and the A's hang on to win it. So the Oakland Athletics wrap up this 2016 season with a couple of wins. Their final record, 69-93. And Walt Horn goes out a winner. So time of game was 2 hours and 34 minutes. The attendance today here in Seattle, 24,856. Final score, the A's 3, the Mariners 2. Stick around. Ray and I will come back to Safeco Field. We'll give you your post-game show right after this.